I was thinking like, what is going on? I really can't leave my house.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the G Team podcast. My name is Peter, one of your co-hosts at the G Team podcast, and I am joined by my other co-host.
It's me, Olusomi Masaku, Prof. OJM. I'm a, relations manager at the G Team, something like. And we're here. This is a special edition, by the way. This is an engineer special.
Plus me.
By two guests. Ladi, do you want to introduce yourself?
Me?
Ladi.
Oh, Ladi, right.
You guys. Okay.
Feeling a bit nervous.
Okay. Don't worry about it. But yeah,
okay.
we got Ali and Ladi, two new members from the G Team, and they'll introduce themselves. I'll let Ali introduce himself first. He's looking very eager to say so. So yeah.
Yep. Well, good morning, afternoon, or evening to you all. My name is Ali. I am a third-year aerospace student at Brunel University, London, and that's my whole CV.
Very good. Got some interesting things to talk about.
Yeah. Can you hear me now, yeah?
Yeah, Laddie.
Yeah.
I hope so. Lovely. All right. My name is Ladi Joseph, third-year mechanical engineering student at Loughborough University. What else? Let me boost my CV. I'm sports sec for Walton School. Yeah, let me just add that there.
Yeah, quick.
I'll add
I forgot to mention I'm in the HR department. I do apologize.
But yeah, very, very nice. So yeah, today we're just going to talk about you guys. And as Ollie said, it's a special edition. Obviously, I don't do engineering, but all these other three people do. So yeah, how's engineering, guys?
Ooh, big question.
Engineering.
Big question, bro. I mean, since engineering is good. It's interesting, but it's a lot of work. Yeah, that's my comment. Literally, yeah.
How's engineering? Can I even say, engineering is quite interesting. It's a lot of work. Sometimes you love it, sometimes you hate it so much that's why did I even choose this course?
It's
it builds you. It builds you as a person. I feel like you get to work in teams. You get to spend 10 hours of your day doing work. So these are things that I guess you could enjoy.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if engineering was a story, if it was a book, and if it was written by Shakespeare, it would be Romeo and Juliet. It's a love and hate relationship. You love it because it's so fascinating, but when it gets to the amount of work you have to do, it's quite hectic. It's backbreaking.
Okay, I've got a question because I know what the answer is for me. Did you have any idea what you were getting yourself into when you decided to do engineering?
Okay. Well, I did. I did know that it's going to be hard, but honestly, in my mind, it was either engineering or nothing because I had no background of any other job. I was just hey, being Middle Eastern, parents are you're going to be an engineer. So I was I basically just took it. I took it, and I was to be fair, I don't even know why I picked aerospace though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in my course is a plane enthusiast, and they freaking love it. They see a plane flying, they can tell you what made it is, what airway, what time it took off, and I'm just looking yo, it's a plane. But no, it's really, yeah, it's really cool stuff. I've learned so much so far. Would definitely recommend if somebody who's unsure about their career choice to pick up engineering because of just the amount of career paths it opens up for you. So if you wanted to, or if I wanted to, I could go into finance, I could go into just a whole bunch of other things, including engineering. Yeah.
I'd say for me, choosing engineering was basically secondary school. I was good at math, I was good at physics. Growing up in a Nigerian family, it's okay, that's just the pathway to engineering then. So like you said, if I'm going to do, I'm going to do engineering. And a lot of my family members ended up being engineers as well. Like my dad was an electrical engineer, my sister electrical engineer, two of my brothers mechanical engineers. So just like, okay, it runs in the family as well.
Yeah, you
I think
didn't
it was
want to
going to
miss
be like,
out,
exactly.
huh?
Exactly. I knew it was going to be like one of the more difficult courses, but like I considered like that I would still like get through with it. But when I came to uni, when I knew that like, okay, it's probably harder than most courses. You know, when you meet new people, you tell them your course. I'm like, okay, I do mechanical engineering. Like the reaction is always the same things. Like,
Oh
you
my
must be
God, I
smart.
hate that
Or
so much.
you know what I mean?
I hate it so much.
Yeah.
They treat you
That's literally
like
always the
you're a
reaction.
freaking alien. They treat you as they literally seen an alien. You're like, wow, engineering? It's like, yo, chill out, chill out. There's harder degrees out there, I promise you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But it seems like for both of you, there's been that element of like your environment heading into university. It's sort of like dictated, it kind of shaped the path that you've taken. I'm curious now. Maybe this is going to get a little bit philosophical. So
Let's go.
the first level of this question is, did you actually choose engineering? Or did engineering choose you? Which one was it? And what I'm trying to say is, in life, as you're making all these key decisions, and you know this is going to be quite like a big thing, you know, you're at university now, like this kind of dictates like where you're going to go next. How much do you think those factors, for example, for both of you, like, you know, having parents or a family that are almost like, not necessarily pushing you, but like, I'd say, like setting that general direction. How much of that do you think really affects the pathway that you take in your life?
Well, my mother, bless her, she's always was comparing me to my cousins, and she'd be like, "Look, they're top of their class in maths. Why can you not be?" And I was like, "All right, calm down. I do it." But like so I'm actually me, my dad, stepmom, we're the only people over here in our family. So all my family are actually in Iran. But even, they were like, oh yeah, they're top of the maths class over there. Why can you not be? I was like, yeah, about that. There's like so much more going on over here. And like, yeah, my mum always just kind of like pushed me in the direction of like, look, you're good at maths. You can solve problems. You're a bit creative. Not too much, but just a little bit. Why don't you go into like engineering and stuff? And honestly, like, the way I looked at it, I was like, engineering, you can work inside or outside. You can go into other different things. And in a way, I would say I personally picked engineering because I didn't want to either do like pure physics or pure maths or anything. Engineering is like a combination of all physics, chemistry, and maths. And yeah, I just find like building stuff pretty cool as well. And yeah. And also, sorry, to get it back in there, I also noticed that like with engineering, there's always that community that you can be part of. Whereas I feel like with stuff like finance, you're kind of all like, you know, you're kind of like separated, or you're kind of working against each other rather than engineering. It's just all working with each other.
Major shots to my
That's my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but that's what I've experienced.
How would you say like you found it, Peter, in uni? And this is like a whole other discussion in terms of with your course mates. Like, do you feel like they're your competitors more, or do you feel like you're all in this together, or is there just no relationship there?
You know, like for me, it's funny that you say this, yeah, because when I see, let's say Ali talks about engineers being bonded together, right? That's true in the sense that I'd always see all the engineers up in the library at 3 a.m. bonding over suffering. That's what I see, you know, in a perspective of you guys would have like an exam at 9 a.m. that day, do that exam, hop in the library, and then be in that library until your next exam, 9 a.m. the next day. Like, that's bonding.
That's nice, man.
I mean, personally for me, like I'm not trying to beef my own course mates, so I don't think I had that much competitive nature with my own course mates. But obviously that does exist, and I feel like that exists it exists in any environment. You know what I mean? It's kind of, I feel like it's the circle that you surround yourself with. Healthy competition is good, but obviously you get to a point where it becomes a bit toxic. And then this is obviously like a completely different conversation entirely, but I say you need a balance, you know. You need a circle that pushes you enough, but doesn't destroy you completely. I think from what I've seen, engineering seems to be like that because you will relate through the pain that you suffer.
Definitely.
In Spain without the S, we know about that.
Yeah. But yeah,
It's good.
yeah.
You know, I find it interesting as well. That just it's one thing, the different cultures that you find within like different courses. There's different culture, like university culture, student culture, a way of getting along. But then also, and this is what I'm really interested to hear, there's different cultures between each university. So I know, like for us in Loughborough, it's very small. Like there's a campus, you bump into people. That's just how it is. There's loads of different circles like going on individually, but then there's so much overlap within these circles, and like you're only like sort of one or two connections away from any other person in the union. It's really interesting. I was just wondering, like for you at Brunel, what's that like?
At Brunel, it's kind of funny because our uni compared to Loughborough is like a lot smaller. So like the distance between your like sports field and your like, I don't know, canteen or like the main gym is like pretty much our whole uni, including all the accommodations there is. So it's really small. And I think the population is about like 10 to 12,000 people as well. And that people mainly are here for design because it's like supposedly one of the best ones in the country. And the second one I would say is engineering, and then the third one is maths, and then it goes on to like finance and stuff. But there's actually, I don't think there's many like diversity of courses as like, for example, Loughborough has over here. Because I mean, like I know there's courses who have like literally like 15 people in them. Like there's drama here. Somebody was saying like in a like a rep meeting, somebody was saying, oh, there's like 15 drama students in the like what's it called, in their class, right? It's like 15 people. That is literally like one of your group projects. For us, as of in terms of engineering, I think in my year there's like about 200 people, and we pretty much know each other. So and then being a lot smaller than Loughborough, we always see each other. We always hang around. We all have each other on like you know, social media and stuff. We're also friendly together. Like there's literally just, I don't know, there's no drama around here because everybody just knows everyone. And when you're walking down, it feels like being at school, which is like so dope. And I'm actually kind of sad being last year because I don't think I will ever see this many people my age in one place again, and like all working towards the same thing. And I find that super, like I get anxiety thinking about that kind of thing. But obviously every good thing has to come to an end. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I say that's the same for Loughborough as well. Obviously, I'm on placement right now, so I don't know what the environment's like. But I did being there last year, even though we're quite a big-ish campus, I feel like everyone always knew each other in some shape or form, and they'd have some mutual connections, one way or another. And yeah, man, it's gonna be it's a different environment, I suppose. Getting adjusted to obviously leaving that student group and whatnot. But yeah, that's why. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like, how have you guys found the environment now, and would you say it's affected you? Obviously, not being around so many other students because of restrictions and whatnot. Have you found it's been different or not so much?
Yeah. I mean, I could answer this again, but I'll let Ladi talk this time. I feel like I've spoke too much.
What was the question? Like my Wi-Fi is bugging out, so sometimes I literally don't hear the question. What was the question?
I was just talking about, so obviously we were talking about the environments that we were in and how, see, they can motivate us sometimes, and you guys bonding over your courses or this and that. But with that not being so much of a unavailability right now, have you found that to be a major factor in affecting you in some shape or form? Has it been hard to get used to? And if not, have you worked around it?
I'd say luckily, like for me, I think the whole COVID period when lockdown started, obviously that's when everyone just simply went home. I was in, literally like it went from my whole urban which is like, you should know how Loughborough campus is like, it's packed, there's just life everywhere. It literally went from everybody being there to literally just me, my brother, and one friend in the entire of Urban Richards. So just like alone for that entire period. And school was still going on during that period as well. So I guess that period basically helped in adjusting to this period now that lockdown started. So it started from there, like, there was just free time out of nowhere. Like, what exactly am I going to do with this time now? I said, okay, let me just get down to it. Let me start. I was in this phase as well where I was like, okay, personal development, like this is a thing. I'm just going to start building myself. I just started to build this routine, waking up 7 a.m. I started to like change my mindset in a way as well. Like to look at mechanics, to look at whatever work I was doing as like building towards the future, helping me in some way. So from then I just started doing work like every day, even like as a funny thing, just by reading. So building that habits like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So like now it's reached a stage. I still love doing work with people because like literally for mechanics as well. Like always just like one of the people, like we have this group of like 5 guys. I would say first year, second year, like probably would, I don't know what exactly I was doing throughout the term. But like I would always end up like 5-6 days before the exam, like we just literally go to the library 24 hours every single day. Like
When I see the guys though.
Like we did the entire for like 5 modules in the space of 30 days. And it always worked for some reason, like I would still get like a decent result. But obviously like this is third year, so I'm like, I'm not going to play around like that this year. But yeah, I think now I'll build like a system where like I still prefer to work with people, but even like when I'm alone, I'm still like able to just like get down to it. You could just play some music, put on a podcast. And like literally it's like the main issue is normally like starting. There's this like resistance when it's like, okay, let me do work, let me start to work. When you just be like those first 5 minutes, just open up my laptop and just get to it, then you just go through. You find at the end of the day as well, like you feel much happier when you've stressed yourself to do work, but you've done the work, than if you don't do work and it's just in your head like, oh, I'm behind. It's like choosing the lesser of two evils at the end of the day. But yeah, that's basically it for me.
I wanted to add something to this. Honestly, like, you know, COVID happening is so tragic. It's literally slowed the whole world down, you know, it's ruined so many things for so many people. But at the same time, I feel like for me, it's allowed me to grow a lot as a person. It's literally has allowed me to go on the right path that I want to be on. And also because of COVID, everything being virtual and you don't actually have to go anywhere, I've met a lot more people than I would have had if COVID didn't happen. So I'm somewhat grateful for it. Like even the G team, I don't think I would have ever like, you know, met you guys if COVID didn't happen, because you guys would have done like, because you're all in Loughborough, you would have probably done like, you know, in-person meetings and stuff. But now because of COVID, everything being virtual, like I'm part of this and I'm grateful for that kind of thing. And yeah, like, you know, especially exams being online too, that helps. I don't want to say too much, but you know, that kind of helps. Yeah. So yeah, in some way, I'm actually kind of grateful the fact that, you know, like I am able to do what I am right now because of COVID, but of course it's still traumatic, the fact that, you know, 1 million people have got it and thousands have died from it as well.
Definitely. It's like, it's a terrible situation obviously, but like when you're in this situation, it's like, what exactly are you going to do? Are you going to like make it affect you? Are you going to just find the best possible thing to do in the situation? Like being in home is like, it's worldwide is such a terrible thing, but you need to look within yourself, like how exactly am I going to make the best out of this situation and build myself. Like I got so much free time, like you can actually like look at your life now. There's no one around you, there's not like the world isn't like moving, so there's no distraction in the way. So you could do at yourself and say, okay, what exactly am I going to do in life? What's my meaning here? Even like when I was doing like mechanical engineering, I was able to like find that time to actually like look out my life, like, okay, what am I going to find purpose in? What am I going to do moving forward? Like G team, I most likely wouldn't have joined this group if COVID didn't happen. Like, you notice as well, like when COVID happened, like a lot of online things started. I joined like another group as soon as COVID started, like just joining different online groups, getting to like meet different people from different parts of it opened up like a different avenue, like a different world. And it's like it's a new experience. At the end of the day, like experiences are like how you live through life and how you like learn. Just the best out of them.
Yeah, I still haven't processed the fact that we're literally just living in a movie. Like, this is so unreal. Like, it's crazy. How did one little tiny microorganism have messed up the whole world? Apparently, if you were going to put every ounce of COVID in one place, it would be about a tablespoon. It would be like half an ounce. Or maybe not half an ounce, but like, it would be just about like a tablespoon, which is crazy. It's slowed down the growth of like 7.5 billion people.
Humbling.
Geez.
Yeah. I mean, I say the thing is, I feel like at this point, obviously, it's been such a long time since everything started that we've become used to it. It's only until you actually think about it, like, oh damn, you used to be able to walk up to a stranger and shake their hand. Well, thinking having a second.
They're thinking about it.
Or being able to.
I don't even shake hands anymore. Like yesterday, I saw some of my mate's mate walking with him, right? And I bumped my mate, and it got to his mate. And I was like, "Nah, mate, I'm sorry. No, I don't mean to disrespect you, but I'm not gonna bump you."
But yeah, it's like, it has been a case of, obviously it's quite a depressing situation and everything, but it's kind of like sink or swim, So it's got to make the most of what it is, and there have been some positives, I suppose, has come from it, especially when we've all talked about what we're involved in now. We're all involved in the G team. Most likely, I can account to say because of this pandemic, and there's been probably more networking. Well, definitely, I wouldn't say necessarily more networking, but networking and meeting people that I definitely would not have met, and also getting in touch with a lot of old friends and old people that I haven't spoken to in a while as well. I feel like, you don't really have the time for that. Obviously, when you're busy with everything, and the pandemic's not going on. So it has been nice to be catching up and everything. But obviously,
you know what?
I like to be hopeful that these things, this isn't going to last forever. And when we think about that, so how you guys gonna think you're gonna live your life? Like, is anything gonna change? Are you gonna just go back to the way where you were living? Obviously, it's not
it would definitely go back to the way it was. How long it will take, God knows, but it would definitely go back to how it was.
But do you think your outlook on life and like the way you operate and everything has been changed permanently, and you're going to carry that through to the post-COVID world, or are you going to live the way you have been living before everything happened?
I've got a point to raise.
Go ahead.
I was having a conversation with a friend about this, and we think basically COVID might have acted as a catalyst for all of this, like self-development, like reflecting, figuring out who you are, like deeply. But also, we might just be at the age when we're doing that anyway.
Yeah, I was thinking about this, literally.
Probably we were like forced into a state of self-reflection because there was just nothing else to do. Like, first lockdown was mad. I remember I was in my house. I was just pacing about. Huffing and puffing. I was thinking, like, what is going on? I really can't leave my house. Like, what is going on? And you just like get really insular. You start thinking like inwards, like, what's going on? So I'm just here, can't move around, like, and you're forced to self-reflect. And I think that kind of just accelerates that process of like, coming of age now, I'd say like, we're getting to the point where now we're like figuring out who we want to be. Like us, we're all like male, so who we want to be like as a man. And I think although we would have like had this period anyway, like COVID has definitely just boosted that, like that forced self-reflection.
Catalyst.
Or
Yeah, because like we're already in that age period. I think university, we're in that like 20 range. Coming from university to high school, it's basically just change. When you change from secondary school to like university, you have a different experience. And it's like, how are you going to blend these experiences that you now come to know together? And then COVID is now another massive change as well. Obviously, like you're not seeing people. It's just like you said, just accelerated the process. And hopefully, I do, because like it seems like everyone here, like we've taken it like on the positive notes, and like, we've improved ourselves in that sense as well. There have been people that are probably taking it more negatively. Obviously, like in this situation, like anxiety could increase. You're obviously like alone. I guess there's some negative impacts that could come from it as well. So it's like every experience is an experience. It's like, I guess it's why perspective is very important as a human being. It's like, how are you going to use the experience? Like, what are you going to take from it exactly?
yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, it's like, as you were saying, it's like we're within that age where like a lot of development happens anyways. But if I account for myself, just within these last 6 to 8 months or whatever, I feel like I've developed like 3 years.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
You know what I mean?
Literally.
The-
Bro, even my beard connected, okay? Even like I'm telling you, this lockdown just made me age so much.
yeah, the person
I'm an old man now.
is just nowhere near the same
Yeah.
as the person I was at the end of the year in terms of my own feelings towards myself, and that where I was and where I want to be now is completely different. And I feel like usually in normal circumstances, I'd be here in like another year's time, maybe. So as you all said, just because we've all had so much time to think.
I have a question for each of you. It kind of like goes off the point you've been making, like in terms of like just you're like here right now and looking back, and you're able to see and like analyze, and just you can basically just see each step of the way of your personal growth, right? Now, on personal growth, for each of you guys, would you say it's been a conscious effort? Like you envisioned where you are today, and you were like, I'm going to work towards it. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do that thing. Or would you say it's more been a passive thing? Things have happened to you and like they forced you to change. Or did you like have that goal of becoming this kind of person? I'm just curious.
For me, I had the goal of becoming this person, but the thing was, I don't know, I guess I was too busy, probably, I don't know, socializing or whatever, and didn't prioritize as much as I should have in the past 2 years, especially at uni. But since the pandemic happened and not being able to, socialize and just maybe doing like a house party cool or something, like an hour or two a day, it really allowed me to just kind of get my stuff right. And like, especially just being on YouTube a lot, bro, you see like YouTubers, they talk about like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but like I really need to put into effort and stuff. And just because you have so much time and you have nothing else to do, you actually end up doing that kind of thing just because you watched it somewhere, you absorbed it, you like, I want to be that person. And like honestly, like the stuff that I'd done in this pandemic was the stuff that I had in my mind for the past 2-3 years, and I just finally had nothing to do where I just started these, and I'm so glad I did.
Is there anything in particular that you could say that you've took?
Oh yeah, bro. We got reading books. We got trading. We got reselling stuff. We got freaking. I literally this thing just got approved today. Like kind of like my own cooking show on the university's Instagram page. I wanted to start a page, but now I'm literally I'm not even starting from scratch because they already have some audience. So that's pretty cool. And then like I'm doing bits and here and there. Yeah.
It's great. It's a great feeling, isn't it?
Oh, bro, I feel like I'm top of the world right now, literally. And I'm not gonna lie, it also I always genuinely feel like this all like this feeling that like your self-confidence and your attitude towards working also really depends on the music you listen to. So
Music.
yeah, like get this. So I used to listen to, I don't know, like, I still do, but just way less. I used to listen to J. Cole.
He used to be the biggest J. Cole stan, bro.
Hey,
This guy in college. Always
yes,
listen to
bro.
him, all the
J.
albums.
Cole.
GOAT. He's the
Number
GOAT.
one
The
fan.
stories he tells. The stories this guy tells. I used to listen to like J. Cole and like Frank Ocean. At one point, I used to listen so much to X and that kind of stuff. You don't realize, right? You feel like you're down, but in reality, it's just because you constantly listen to these musics that's kind of like, they kind of change your mood. But as weird as it sounds, as soon as I started listening to freaking Pop Smoke, everything just started becoming better. I kid you not, bro. It's just so fun. Especially, hey, anybody. Let me get close to the mic. Anybody out there who's struggling with mental health, I promise you this. Just go on Spotify, Apple Music, or whatever you listen music to, and just type in "hotel lobby." Your life will never be the same.
We'd like to put a disclaimer that is not actual professional medical advice, but
of course
we don't claim
I've not heard this one yet.
Advice works, but obviously feel free to try some of these things within your own boundaries and let us know, if you're down. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely been cool. For me, I would say it's entirely been reactive for me. So things have happened to me, and as a result, I've had to adapt to that. There obviously has been times when I've had to be more self-aware. But for me, that's been everyone with this situation as well. So as a result, like I'd say, it's about 70% reactive, and it's been, and that has forced me to then think about the things that I think about now and how to move on from those things and develop. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, when things slowly get back, because I know for sure I'm going to be taking a lot of the mindsets and the practices that I do now and then putting them into practice as well. I feel like I've also lost some basic social skills.
Trust me. You remember that time we met up in June?
Yeah.
I just realized I can't talk to people anymore. Like, what is going on? Being with my family.
Do you know what? One thing I picked up over lockdown, it was the mentality of like, I genuinely don't care about what people think about me anymore. I'm just so out there right now. Like, I'm diving into the deep end, bro, without knowing how to swim. Like, yeah, I just got rid of that because I just felt like it was stopping me at one point, and I had to cut the ties,
That's a good one, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Laddie, what about you? How's it been?
Yeah, Laddie, you've been really quiet, man. I've been doing the talking.
Listen to you guys. Okay, let me. So, like, was it a subconscious or a conscious decision?
Yeah, passive, active.
I would say for me, like, I think back to last year summer. At the end of last year summer, I think that's when I made the decision in terms of like, okay, what am I going to do moving forward? So I think that was like one milestone that I hit. I was like, okay, I'm going to just. I was like, if I want, like, going through life till I die, what's one thing that you can always do? I won't really be bored of. I was like, okay, I could just keep learning things. I could just keep developing myself. Like, okay, this is a good goal to have. I'm going to move forward with this. Obviously, it was second year of Mechans coming. Basically, so okay, let me just. Mechans is going to be the main thing that I'm going to target using this regard. I'm going to like be serious as soon as the year starts. No more that 5 days for exams. So I can't even lie. At the end of semester, it was still the same thing, but it was improvement. I can't lie. It was a bit better.
Yeah.
But I had that mentality moving forward. I was moving forward to that. Like, it kept getting better. Then when COVID hit, it was like, okay, this free time is there. I already had that mindset that I'm going to keep developing myself, and I had this free time. I was like, okay, there's a vast majority of things now that I could look at, not just mechanics. So what did I start? I started reading books, like Ali said. I started trading as well. I didn't know how to code. I was like, okay, let me just start learning any course that just seems interesting to me. I just went to media. My sister sent me just like free. I could get some courses for free. Just got those courses on. I said, okay, let me start joining groups of people. I joined like 2 groups during that, 2 or 3, like 3 or 4 groups during that period. Started reading groups. Let me just touch on some of the groups I joined. I think the first one was this faith group. So yeah, like one of the things about me is like I'm very interested in like what exactly truth is, Christianity, be that like science, religion, whatever that is. Obviously, I grew up a Christian, so that was like my main focus at that time. So one of my goals, okay, I'm going to like build my faith every single day, like consistency, read my Bible, pray, learn more about these different things. I'm going to read different books, like how does the human mind work, psychology. Just like, let me just keep learning about life. Like, this is just interesting stuff. Let me start meeting people, join different groups. I started learning trading. I joined like this group of traders. Just like, this is a nice community to be in. Like, why not? It's like, life is literally like, why not? So join that group, join the faith group. This was a very like interesting project as well. Like, I think the group ended up having like 30 people. So joined the group with like 30 odd people, just like going towards that goal. One of my friends as well, she's Nigerian. She made this NGO. The purpose of the NGO is basically like to build up like young people like ourselves, like creating projects to like help Africa as a whole. This could be, obviously there's a 17 UN goal. This could be education. This could be poverty. This could be a wide variety of things, just like helping other people. That's particularly like why I've enjoyed GTM, like just an opportunity to like help people, to meet people like yourself and just like go. Like the reaction of like this free time just like propelled me to just say, okay, what am I going to do with my life now? And look, I have to fill my time with things that are going to like make me grow as a person. I just found all these different projects, these different activities. Because as a human being, like I think one thing that like I learned, this was through reading one book as well, is that like you're always, as a human being, you're always going to work. You're always going to want to solve problems. It's just an inevitable thing. Like, think about life. Are you really going to be like happy doing nothing? Like you could be eating, you could be getting money through some means, but you're not doing anything, just inaction. Like you're not going to feel fulfilled. It could be a curse, but it's like at the end of the day, like you live in this world, you're going to just have to accept it. It's just like you have the ability and the freedom now to like give your time, give your energy to like problems that you find fulfilling. That at the end of the day, you can say, I'm proud of myself, and you can just keep moving forward through life like that. So this period just like gave me that perspective. Okay, let me just find different things to move into now. I grew in my faith. I grew mentally. Was able to meet new people. Social skills dropped a bit, but I was able to like keep it like not too bad with the online. So on. And yeah, and then like when like people started coming back again with an interesting experience. So like, how are you going to like maintain that momentum that you built doing like like you had all this free time to yourself. Now people are here. Now uni is back. That was an interesting experience as well, like adapting to that change. But again, it's like you end up like growing through it as well. So yeah, that's just been it for me basically.
Wow, that's crazy. I love that. So it's just those interesting things for me. Like, you know, you're looking, well, now you get to like look back on when either you made that decision or something happened to you and you had to react. And you can kind of see that timeline looking back, like, okay, at this point, I didn't know if I was going to make it through. I didn't know if I was going to be able to be consistent. You weren't sure, but now you're here and you can see a lot of the benefits. And that really encourages you moving forward. And that can even like cause you, okay, like what's next? Because like, even you, Ali, like you've done some really cool things now. Like, that's amazing having that cook shop. It's like, whoa. Does that not give you the confidence? Like, I can even do more now.
Yeah.
Like you're excited to be where you are. You're excited for the future. And I think that's probably the most important thing, as well as like actually putting in the work to get that personal growth. It's also like good to reflect and see like how far you've come.
It's definitely. You have to like,
you know,
one good, like you really see like your potential as a human being. Like looking back 6 months from now to where you are now, like these are skills, like we probably all learned skills that we have now, we didn't have 5-6 months ago. But you have those skills now. It's like, as a human being, you have the ability to just put your mind to something. You can see, okay, I want to be this. Like you may not know how yet, but you know you want to be this thing. You just need to have that goal and just keep working towards that, and like you can do it.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think one thing I developed in the past 2 years at uni, which has led me to work a lot harder this year and like pursue every opportunity there is out there, is regret. I've developed the fear of regret, of like literally anything. I don't want to regret anything. I want to look back at my third year, be like, I did everything that I ever wanted at uni because I was scared that I would regret it in the future. And like, yeah, that's one thing that is at top of my mind right now. Like, if I think of something, I'm gonna do it because I don't want to regret it in like 5 years. Because like even like, you know how I said like I'm doing this like YouTube like this food show kind of thing on the Instagram thing. Like me and Pete, we've been talking about doing YouTube since we were 16, like bro, like we've been thinking doing like skits. So at one point I did start like a YouTube shoot channel thing. I had like 2 videos. I deleted them, but yeah, like I was like 15. I just always wanted to do it. Not because I wanted to be like a YouTuber. It was just like I genuinely was interested in that thing, and I wanted to be like the part of the community, and I wanted to like feel like part of that community and stuff. And then not doing it has led me to regret now. So I want to do them because I have so much free time. And also going back to what you said, was that, you know, like as long as you put your mind to it and you do the work, what I figured out recently is that motivation is a myth. Like it's so spontaneous. It just comes and goes. You don't feel like working every day. Nobody does, right? And what I've figured out is that in reality, what motivation should be explained as is you should start doing something and the motivation will come to you rather than you get the motivation and you do something. Because I've been in a position so many times where it's like, when I don't want to do something, I might just do, like, for example, my assignment, right? I'll be like, okay, let me just start the intro. As soon as you start the intro, you think of something about writing and you're like, okay, I don't know much about it, so I'm going to go Google it. You Google it, you find out more information, and you find out more and more and more, and you just like kind of like build that interest. And then you actually start doing it. Just because you decide to write a paragraph in the intro, you end up like getting so much done. And like I get it. Like I find my phone really distracting. I still do, but yeah, like once you motivation should be taught as once you start something, you know, it will come to you rather than you get it before you start something.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Right. Like even like recently I've been doing like research on habit, and that's one of like the main things that was mentioned. Like one you basically gave, you have this task, let's say you give yourself this challenge. Okay, I'm going to run every day. I'm going to do my assignments every day. Don't think too much. I just think, okay, I'm just going to achieve the first 3 minutes of this task. As soon as you simply start and you just keep going, you just find yourself wanting to continue. Like, that's an interesting human thing, but that's just actually how it works. Like, motivation comes after you actually just start acting. It doesn't come before. Yeah.
I was also going to say, like, if there's anybody out there who feels like, oh, maybe the degree that I picked at uni is not for me. If you think of it this way, if you feel like somebody, you know, kind of persuaded you, kind of tricked you or pushed you into picking that degree, just remember this, that you were the one who filled out the form. At the back of your mind, you must have been interested to have agreed with that person. Like I had like in the past 2 years, honestly, the amount of times I have doubted that if I wanted to actually continue with engineering has been like way many more than actually just like being happy about picking engineering. Like as an engineer, it's completely normal to regret or question your choice every day. Because it is a lot of work after all. And also another point is that you basically, however long you give yourself to do a thing, it will take you that long. For example, I have mates who be like, all right, I'm going to spend a month doing like my, project proposal, right? I personally, I'll procrastinate a lot. I give myself about like 24 to 48 hours before the deadline to do it. I get as much as done as they do in a whole month. But obviously their stuff would be, better quality. But yeah, like you legit, just like if you decide to give yourself like 24 hours to do a task, you're going to get it done in 24 hours. But if you're going to give yourself like a week to do it, it's going to take you a week to do. So that's something I think people should keep in mind. And yeah,
I think that's something I learned experientially as well. I guess linking back to starting, and then because engineering is not like just the content is a lot. So to be able to, like, and always a witness to this, to be able to do like 9 weeks of 5 modules in like the span of 35 days, like it doesn't make sense, but somehow like we got it done. Like this is not advice to like wait last minute because it's not nice. Sleepless nights, but it's just like you said, like if you set time to something, like you can actually do it.
Honestly, I'm telling you, last year I wrote a whole assignment. It was like 12 pages or 14 pages. I wrote the whole thing in freaking how long did it take? Like 48 hours.
What?
So there you go, people. However long you give yourself through a task, that's how long it will take you.
That's exactly it. It's Parkinson's law, isn't it? Work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion, as they say.
Jeez. That ruled off the tongue, bro.
Okay. I figured this out myself. I didn't know there's something like this in the textbooks. Okay.
That means it's a true universal law. That's
Yeah. I suppose we have so much time now, but I think we've obviously learned to utilize it the best, and that's why. So I've been trying to set my own personal deadline so that I'm not moving the way that I used to be moving in terms of, because I know I got to write like some 8,000 word dissertation for my placement as well. So
8,000.
Yeah, so
Lord have mercy.
I was like, what's a placement? Like, wait, why do I have to write anything? But
trust.
as part of the diploma and whatnot.
I don't think I've ever written that many words.
I mean, you definitely have just been spaced out,
Oh yeah, not for like one assignment. 8,000 words, never.
I mean, everything's spaced out. The whole what I think it's one dissertation is 5,000 words, but I have to do a 500 word proposal and some other 250 word like diary entries, right? That's what they got us.
Oh wait, is it 800, not 8,000?
No. So if you add all the tasks together, it's 8,000 words, right, roughly. But
was it? Does anybody else, like, when they do a task, do they compare themselves to sports players? I don't know.
I have in the past.
You have in the past. Do you know what I feel like? What I do is basically, for example, this is a real life scenario. It's not a hypothetical one. I have my interim report, which is like 15% of my dissertation, due on Monday, and it's about 16 pages. And I've just planned it. I still haven't started writing it. So in my mind, I'm like Kobe, bro. I'm going to make a comeback in the fourth quarter. I'm going to clutch it. I'm going to take the last second. But yeah, I think that's like one good way of like thinking of doing tasks is like comparing yourself to like sports characters and stuff. That's what I found helpful.
It's like, you have to have that balance. Like, you have to have the confidence that when it comes to it, like, and that certainty that. And this is how I always feel. Like, if I ever get behind, which is every semester, you get behind. Like, no one's ever on top the whole way through. But I always have to have that mentality that it's like, I am going to, there's no doubt in my mind, I'm going to.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's always better when you plan. It's always better when you, like, I remember that I found this out like second semester last year. Oh my gosh. I was looking back and I've done the tutorials. I can't believe it. Like, it felt like a superpower. But like always just having that mentality that no matter like how hard it seems right now, you're gonna get through it.
Yeah.
Like it's so important to like, it gives you that focus and it gives you the confidence, like even if you don't believe it at the time, like just gives you that like focus, like I will do it. I guess that's just like positive affirmations, it does something for you. You manifest it.
Yeah, I think having faith is a very important thing. Like, if you have that thing in your mind, like, I'm going to do this, then affirmations make sense. Like, if you keep repeating it to yourself, so on, you just keep having that mentality running and running. Like, your actions are just going to follow suit in a way. Like, you find doing things that like keep building you up towards that goal that you set for yourself. If you have that defeatist mentality, or I'm not going to do this, like, and when you think about it, like logically or practically, it's like you're worrying about your work that you're going to do. It's something that like I tell myself when I start thinking too much, like, I'm going to have to do this anyways. I can actually just spend like my time like worrying or being sad about it, but it's like I'm going to have to do it anyways. The other scenario, if I don't do it, then I'm going to fail. Just like I might as well just get on with it. Yeah.
Yeah, like obviously don't delude yourself as well. You actually have to put in the work.
Yeah.
It's not just gonna it's not gonna just materialize because you say it. But it's good to have that mentality and remind yourself that you're capable.
Yeah.
And that you will do it.
I say when it comes to like work that you have to do, don't give yourself an option. Like, don't say, "Oh, I can't do this." No, you have to. You have no other option. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
don't give yourself an option like, "Oh yeah, if I get this percentage for this assignment, I can make it up in the exam." No, you can't.
Yeah, no.
Just do the work.
it never works. It never works out like that.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of that's something I used to do in the past was obviously try to attach a reward to an action that I do. Usually I'll be saying, "Oh, I'll go out, or I'll do that at the end of the week or something if I complete my work or something." But one time, this time it says at home, it's like, "Oh, I'll make a cake."
That's cool. It's like, again, this is like just one of the things like I saw in the research, like with building new habits, when you add like rewards to them and the emotional state of like happiness, of like fulfillment, you add it to this new habit that you have. It can work for good habits, but sadly it can work for bad habits as well. Like, you have a bad habit, like it may be a bad habit, but like you feel good when you do it still.
See, exactly.
I was gonna say this. The reward system for me just doesn't work. I get too excited for the end reward that I end up like procrastinating just because I'm keep thinking about the reward. So what I tend to do is I tend to just kind of like work, and then in that day, either hype myself up by listening to music and dancing in front of a mirror, as you do, or I tend to just reward myself daily rather than like weekly. Even if that's like something small reward or something, I'll be like, "Oh, I can play on my laptop, or I can I don't know, go out for basketball, hockey, whatever."
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think for me as well, like I try to look at things daily. Like every single, like, am I, like, the reward system at the end of the day, like, have I done enough work? Like, always, like, when I start thinking so far ahead to tasks I have to do 1 week, 2 weeks later, it does more worse than good for me. Like, it just brings anxiety in a way. Like, you're thinking about something that's so far ahead that you can't really control. Like, right now, like, you could spend this time doing the work instead of thinking of work that's so far ahead. And as you just, every single day, like, are you putting in the work daily? Because right now, being present, like, am I doing what I have to do right now? And that's just like the way to move forward. And you just find like it builds up. If every single day you're having an efficient day, it's like just net positives, positive every day, positive every day, positive every day. And over a span of 1 month, you're just going to have it badass positive, basically.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that I've really had to learn as well, just over this period. I used to always just think like a week or 2 weeks or 3 months, a year ahead and everything. But that's just, as you said, it's so hard to manage because you don't know what the situation is going to be like. Things can change, right? So it's been really about just taking it day by day. And that's really helped as well. And like I'm doing a lot about habit study and everything. I think it's so interesting. Like reading books around habits. Like I'm listening to podcasts and everything around it. And this has really helped when I'm trying to like remove a lot of negative habits that I've been quite self-aware of. And the key for me has just been cutting out the cues. let's say me being on my phone too much, the cue is literally just seeing on my phone. That's the cue. So sometimes I don't see it, I put it behind my laptop or something, and that really helps me. And I don't know,
Yeah.
on like positive things, it's like I try to pick up meditation, and I always try and meditate, because you wake up every day and you'll always brush your teeth, right? So I associate meditation with brushing my teeth, by always meditating after I brush my teeth. So it kind of becomes, this is something that I read from the book, actually, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Have you heard about it?
Atomic Habits.
Yeah,
Exactly.
man.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I read it before, but obviously I've been going over it again and again, and it's so interesting. Oh, yo.
Ooh.
Wait, hold on. Where's
That's my
my...
next book, bro.
But yeah, that book.
Are we all recommending a book at the end of this?
Yeah. We got to talk about books right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that book, one of the best books I've read.
You got me hyped
I'm a
up.
sutra.
And yeah, it's essentially just about obviously your systems, because essentially you can set goals for yourself, but really, if your systems are already good and effective, you'll most likely reach those goals without even setting them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, if your goal is to win the league, your systems is your training center, your diet, your consistency, the teamwork, things like that. Like, that's a much more important thing to focus on than the goal. That's something that the book teaches, and I think it's also, they break down every habit into the cue, the craving, the response, and the reward, and basically reverse engineer that into whether you're trying to
I was
build
gonna.
good habits or bad habits. But yeah, it's been very interesting.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut your thing up, but I was gonna say basically, the law of attraction really works.
Yeah.
Like, if you have something in the back of your mind, you constantly say it to yourself. You constantly remind yourself, think and grow rich. There you go. Like it genuinely works, honestly. Like, and also if you feel like you're trying to reach a goal, but you don't, you feel like you feel like you're not reaching there. Like, for example, me, obviously, like Bruno being my backup, literally like 99% of the people, apart from all the some of the design students, including like Bruno, was their backup. Like, you barely hear somebody put Bruno as their first choice, but thank God it's amazing over here. But the way I thought of it when I came to Brunel, even though at first I didn't want to, I've completely changed my mind about it now. I'm so sad I'm leaving, but the way I thought about it at first was it's better to be a big fish in a small pond than like a small fish in a big pond. Although I think about it now, you could grow into the big pond as a small fish down, but like, it's like, if you don't get there, or you feel like you're not getting there, just hold on. Honestly, everything just, again, law of attraction, everything just comes in a line.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you were saying. Like, for me, I had that issue when I first started at Loughborough. Like, I didn't get into my first choice. Like, and
hold on, Loughborough wasn't your first choice? What?
But like, I ended up at Loughborough anyway eventually. And like, I didn't have that mentality where it was just like, wherever I am, I'm going to do the best I can. And I didn't even recognize how great of like a position I was in. And it was just like this whole thing of like understanding. And I know you touched on this before, like, maybe you don't want to do your course, maybe there's this, maybe there's that. It doesn't matter. Like, at university, the opportunities are endless. Like, in terms of for like development, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're not liking your course, I don't know, join a society. If it's not a society, try a new sport. Like, there's so much that you can do at any given point. So like, having that growth mentality, where it's like, wherever I am, I'm going to flourish. That's probably like the one thing that I would say you should take with you anywhere in life.
For sure.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's a big pond, small pond. It doesn't matter if it's not even a pond. It might be a paddling pool. It doesn't matter. but just flourish. Like, have the mentality, I'm going to flourish here. I'm going to grow. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to better myself. I think like I know that this isn't really the question, but it's just like if I had one piece of advice that I could give to people who might be listening to this going into uni, also just like any stage of life, but I'll just like speak on what I know. University, like take the opportunities that there are available to you because there are loads. There are loads, and like use them to flourish.
Yeah.
That's what
I was actually talking about this on another podcast I did. Shout out to the student cast. Shout out to Vlad. Pow, pow, pow. Can we get some ad-libs in the background, please? Can I get a woo? But yeah, like honestly, even at Brunel, like there's so many opportunities. Like it's ridiculous. But I guess it just yeah, going back to what you said, like growth mentality is all it takes for you. Like just to put it out there, if you think that you know everything, that's not growth mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, you always have to, like, the way I view myself right now is I'm always wrong. Like I say whatever I say about whatever topic, even if I'm like the expert in the group, I still want to hear other people's opinions,
Definitely,
point of views, because like it just might be something that you just haven't thought about,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely having that perspective as well of always envisioning that you're sort of the dumbest one, not necessarily the dumbest, but you have the least knowledge in that room, because that's the only way you allow yourself to grow. And like, especially at uni, there's so many different types of people, different people from so many different walks of life. Yeah, it's just it's so amazing just to immerse yourself within all those different experiences and whatnot. So yeah, very, very interesting indeed.
It's been a nice one, man.
Man, enjoyed it very much.
I love it.
Yeah, lovely chill talks. I mean, we can talk about it for ages. Like we can, we should do another episode of just book talks and recommendations.
Yeah.
We can do another top 150 quotes about books. But I suppose, I mean, we do a little teaser. I suppose that's where we'll round off. It's like if you guys are on some last notes, if there's any particular lessons that you've taken from a certain book or just anything in general, then
what do you want to leave the audience with?
Actually, you know what, Ladi, you go first.
Actually, I'm still thinking to go on.
I was gonna say, going back to having growth mentality. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with being wrong. People need to realize that, and people need to realize that the only way the world gets better is by people improving, and the only way that people improve is by making mistakes. And yeah, like I don't think anybody should be afraid of making mistakes, public or in private. That's why you dive head in first, and then you learn how to swim. So yeah, hope that made sense.
Fair play.
Guess what I'll leave you guys with today is like, I even link this back to like Ali's fear. The only one fear that like I can say I have is a fear of not fulfilling my unlimited potential. And I really feel like that's how it should be for anyone. Like you need to realize that like you as a person, like you're who you are now, but you have the potential to literally be anything that you want. Stopping is your fear of, and your fear could be anything. It could be like what people think about you. It could be if you're not going to make what you make. But at the end of the day, like even if you don't achieve whatever it is that you put your mind to, like just enjoy the journey. Like life is a beautiful journey. Like you don't have to add so much stress. You don't have to like attach your meaning to any activity that you give yourself to. Like take your meaning from who you believe that you are. And when you have that much self-confidence in yourself, when you know what you are deep inside, you have that good self-identity, you don't need to worry about anything else that's external. And what you find is that like you feel this motivation, you feel this happiness to actually go out into the external and do amazing things. So yeah, just fulfill your potential. Like you have so much inside you, and just like explore that. Anything that drops into your mind, just give yourself to anything that drops into your mind. Like this life is long and interesting, and like just enjoy it basically.
Yeah.
Dope. And yeah, it's been a very, very enjoyable conversation. It always is on his podcast. And yeah, for anyone listening, if you want to catch these two guys on any advice or anything, I'll be linking Instagrams and socials in the bio and the descriptions. Yeah. And late 10s, obviously, if there's any last projects
Hey,
you want to shout out right now. And
yeah, pretty much anybody who's interested in engineering or how stuff happens around uni, feel free to follow my LinkedIn. I've been blogging, not vlogging. I've been blogging the stuff that we've been doing at the at Renault and how we're making it happen. And yeah,
whatever interest you have, I don't really mind what course. Like all courses, kind of, I have a bit of interest in like thing. So yeah, just get my LinkedIn. Let's connect.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Been enjoyable.
Big news.
Enjoyable.
All right.
Yeah.
Been a pleasure. Thank you for having us on.
Of course, man. Anytime. And see you guys.
No. Come on.
What's
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We shall see you guys on the next episode. Have a good
Yes, sir.